There is a time to bid goodbye to the old and the ordinary, and to awaken the beauty within. That time is now. It is time to wake up and take charge of life. Awaken to a new way of thinking. Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Namaskar. Welcome to Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Today we are starting a new series called Soul Connections. First, let's welcome Sister Shivani.
Thank you so much.
Today everybody is complaining about their relationships. Father about the child, child about the father, parents about children, children about parents, teachers, school, students, husband, wife, boss, employee,
Colleagues.
employer, everybody is complaining.
It's important to stop and reflect today that the most important aspect of our life, and I'm sure everyone will agree, the most beautiful aspect also of our life is our interactions with people, is our relationships. It is those interactions where we experience the most purest feelings. And yet, those same relationships are now becoming an issue of concern. Are now seem to become the cause of stress. You ask people, what's the cause of stress in your life? One of the topics would be relationships. You ask somebody, what are the challenges in your life today? One of them would be relationships. So relationships which were supposed to be beautiful have seemed to have become challenges, seem to have become cause of stress, even seem to have become the cause of people's ill health. I think it's important that each one of us first stops and asks our own self, because this is an answer which will be different for different people. Am I satisfied with my relationships today? First, I just have a list of priority-wise my relationships, and then I start grading my relationships. Am I satisfied with where it is heading? Am I satisfied every time I get into an interaction and come out of it? How do I feel? What is there on my mind? See, in the mind there's always a conversation, and that conversation is always related to people.
But is that conversation is not related to myself?
That we need to stop and check. It's like, suppose I meet you and I talk to you. After the meeting is over, the conversation is over, there's still a conversation here. And that conversation, the quality of that conversation will tell me what was my quality of the relationship.
With that particular
With the person,
Yeah.
yeah. The quality of my feeling will immediately, it's like an X-ray before me. That this is how this particular relationship was. Let's say I'm going to work. Now, based on my relationship with my colleagues, with my superiors there, when I step out of the house to go to work in the morning, there's a certain feeling. It's like I have to go to work. I'm not looking forward to those relationships. Or from work, I'm coming back home.
I have to go home.
I have to go home. But some people would be, I want to go home. Some people are looking forward to going home. And some people are not really looking forward to going home. Depends on what is the quality of those relationships. So I need to stop and ask myself today, what is the quality of my relationships? Where do I grade them? And do I find that there is any kind of need of a change?
Sister, can you put this in some kind of an order? First, what? Why you want relationship? What you want from it?
First is, what is the quality today?
What is a relationship?
Yeah.
Why do I need a relationship? And what do you want from it?
What is a relationship? It's an interaction between two people.
More than
Now,
that.
no, it's just an interaction, an exchange, but an exchange at different levels. An exchange at lot of levels is a relationship. First, it could be an exchange of what I do for you, you do for me. It could be an exchange of what I say to you, you say to me. So one is exchange of actions, the other is exchange of words, and mostly today that's where we've kept it.
But there's a business relationship.
Even that will be an exchange of actions,
I give you
exchange
this
of
business,
words.
you give me this business.
So exchange of actions.
Mhm.
Exchange of actions, exchange of gifts, exchange of favors, exchange of words. And that's where we've kept our relationships. This is how I spoke to them, this is how they spoke to me. This is what I did for them, this is what they did for me. I've done so much, what did they do? Measurement based on the doing and the speaking. And then there was one dimension which was conveniently ignored,
But sorry to interrupt.
the important dimension.
Which one?
What I think about them, what they think about me. What I feel for them,
Yeah.
what they feel for me. Today, it is possible for us to not think very nicely about each other and yet speak beautifully to each other and yet do a lot for each other.
Can you explain that again? I can be very nice to you at the same time. What?
Not think very nicely about you.
What's the point?
Oh, that we have to ask ourselves, what's the point? But are we able to do it? A simple thing like someone's come to my place for dinner, I've already finished my cooking and I'm waiting for them to leave. And I'm tired and I need to go to bed early, so I am waiting for them to leave. But this is on my mind. Please leave, it's time for you to leave. I need to go to bed, I have a long day at work tomorrow. But my words will be,
Did you have dinner?
but you will have dinner with us today. You have to stay with us for dinner today. Very subtle checking. We may not think very nicely about somebody, and yet when we meet them, we'll say, I'm so happy to meet you. It's so lovely meeting you. I look forward to meeting you. It was a very interesting conversation I had with you, and yet my internal conversation will be, I wasted my 20 minutes with them.
Yeah, but the other soul understands.
The important is, at which aspect of this is my relationship? Was it doing, speaking, thinking? Three aspects. Today, because we're putting in a lot of effort in our relationships today, each one is really sincerely putting in effort in their relationships. They want to do a lot for each other. They want to behave very nicely with each other. They want to say very sweet things to each other because they want to make others happy. But the only thing we're not taking care of, what are we thinking about each other? Because we thought people can only see what I do, people can only hear what I say, people will not know what I think. And then I will say to myself, I did so much for them. I've always talked nicely to them. I've never said a single wrong word to them. And yet they're not happy.
What more do I want?
What more do
What
they
they
want?
want.
Yes. What more do they want? How much more should I do now? Then that
I've tried my
relationship.
best.
I've tried my best, exactly. Because we really tried our best.
And I failed.
When you said, what do we want in a relationship? Right? We're looking for what we want. What do I want in a relationship? Let's each one just ask ourselves, what do I want in this particular relationship? Let's say with a friend, what do I want?
I want love and friendship.
Yeah. Friendship
He
with
should
me?
make me happy. I should be happy in his company.
Right. So he should make me happy.
And
And I want love, and I want trust, and I want respect. So we have a whole list of list. I want this. And what is happening today, each one wants this. Each one is looking for it because it is these core qualities of each individual which makes them feel nice. If it's like if the water level balance is low in my body, I'm uncomfortable. Till I get water, I will be uncomfortable, and my mind will keep saying, I want water, I want water, I want water. Because till I take in water, there is going to be some kind of a discomfort. Even though I probably would not be able to make out what it is, but there is a discomfort, and that becomes okay when I consume water. Similarly, I want love, I want trust, I want respect. Why? Because I'm experiencing some kind of a discomfort today. At the physical level, it's still easy to be aware what's the discomfort. And I am very clear that, okay, I'm feeling suffocated, I want fresh air. I'm clear about it. I have the awareness how this body works. But with myself, the inner being, I'm not aware. But the only awareness that I have today is
There's something is missing.
missing. That's all. There's something missing. There's something uncomfortable. I'm not feeling what I
Up to
want
the
to
mark.
feel. Yeah.
I don't know, I feel slightly low. I don't know, I'm not in a good mood.
Exactly. That uncomfortable feeling, which we've given a lot of words today, there's a vacuum, there's a void, there's an emptiness inside. Don't know how to fill it. But I know that I want that fulfillment. For that, we have so many words. I want to feel complete. I want to be at ease. I want to be comfortable. Now the search started. How? Because everyone wants to experience that bliss, wants to experience that absolute harmony inside. Now how? So my search started. Search started with objects. Search started with possessions, achievements. Probably when I
Kind of
achieve
things
something.
you eat or drink,
Yes,
a coffee, a kick
Yes,
from a cigarette,
absolutely.
maybe a beer.
yes, alcohol, movies, television, any kind of stimulant. I needed some kind of stimulant to trigger certain kind of feelings inside me, and then those feelings made me feel complete. Even if it was
I think
just achieving something,
a
you
little
know.
comfortable will be a better word than
Comfortable.
complete. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I'm
Because-
complete,
If you're complete, then you don't again want something.
you never want anyways.
You go on wanting.
But why are we wanting? Because
Because it's
it's
not
not full.
complete,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not full. So I'll keep on
It's
wanting
temporarily
it.
comfortable then.
It's not even comfortable. It's temporary taking away the mind from the discomfort.
Oh.
So they're two different things. It's not that I've got comfortable. It's like suppose this chair is uncomfortable, then this chair is uncomfortable. Okay? And I'm not getting the right posture and my back has started paining. So the chair is uncomfortable. But now I start talking to you, and because I engage my mind into something else, suppose I get into a conversation with you and my mind is distracted from this pain, but the chair is still uncomfortable. The pain in my spine is still there. It's not gone. I'm not even temporarily comfortable. It's just that I've taken my mind away from that
a
discomfort.
slight distraction.
Distraction. So today, whether it's a new car, whether it's my new computer, whether it's sitting and chatting on the net with somebody, whether it's sitting 3 hours with a movie or a television, or any kind of, or whether it's with my alcohol, or whether it's smoking, any kind of substance abuse.
So you postponed that pain, like in
No,
alcohol.
you've not
we
even
do.
postponed it.
In alcohol, if you have a problem, and if you drink and go to sleep, you haven't. You just postpone
You've
it till
not
you get.
postponed it. Your pain is still there.
Okay.
It's just the pain, the emotional pain we're talking about. The pain is still there. It's not gone. It's just that now that conscious layer of the mind is, it's merged,
Merged. in
and my mind is now distracted towards something else. It's like I'm
Slight-
sitting again on this
which is slightly
uncomfortable
stronger,
chair.
the thought,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on this uncomfortable chair. If I talk to you, I won't feel the pain. The minute I stop the conversation, my mind will start perceiving the pain again. I'm sitting on the same uncomfortable chair, I'm watching a movie. And 3 hours while watching the movie, if the movie is very engaging
Yeah.
and it's able to hold my mind, I'll forget that the chair is uncomfortable. But all the while, the chair was uncomfortable and the pain was there.
Oh, mine was not there.
Yeah. The mind had distracted itself to something else. So the same thing, today the pain is there. But now I want to get rid of the pain because I've used enough of gadgets,
Toys.
objects, substances. And then what happens with these things also, like alcohol or smoking, drugs, after some amount of time, that same amount that you are taking is not enough.
It increases.
You go on increasing and increasing. It starts showing its toll on your physical health. You know you're heading in the wrong direction, but you're not able to give it up. Why? I want to experience that bliss, that
To
comfort
experience
feeling.
that little bliss, you're getting dependent on something else.
And the more you'll get dependent,
then that will become discomfort.
the vacuum will
Why am I so
increase.
dependent?
Yes, because if
That's
I
another
become,
pain.
because if I'm dependent,
Yeah.
my own emotional strength It's reducing.
Yeah, but when you realize that you're dependent, then you start, that also causes pain.
Because it's weakness.
Yeah, you feel very small, you feel weak, and you feel helplessness, and your ego is hurt.
So all this whole list, and this whole list will increase my void. So when I understood that I'm not getting that comfortable feeling in all these things, now I'm looking for that comfortable feeling in my relationships. My TV couldn't give it to me, my movie couldn't give it to me, my car couldn't give it to me. Now my wife should give it to me. My children should give it to me. So
My new friends.
my new friends should give it to me.
Because old didn't give you any
Old
comfort.
didn't give you. And sometimes even your wife didn't give you, so new relationships
Yeah.
outside there. And that's become that whole thing that's there in society today. And so we want and want and want. But what happens is, because each one wants from each other, you know, two people coming in an interaction with each other, both want from each other.
It's so much against the nature, sister. While you were talking to me, I was thinking, only a human being wants. For example, this tree we are sitting under, it's giving, the breeze is giving, the sun is giving, the earth is giving, everything on earth is just giving.
And probably,
The water is giving, the rain is giving.
probably human beings are also supposed to be only giving.
A part of nature, aren't we?
Yeah.
Then,
And that's why we would always be very comfortable
if we give,
if we are giving.
no, probably you should learn to give, not out of fear.
Probably we just have to remember that we are to give.
It's very, very difficult because from childhood you see that the kids, they start asking you chocolate, this, toy. They're always asking
It's not about
which
objects
person is
now.
born with giving.
It's not about objects. What do I want in a relationship? Or even what do I want? Even the toy was because I thought the toy will give me
Happiness.
So bottom line is, I don't want toys. I don't want anything
The
actually.
final analysis, all
We
of us
want-
want happiness.
And love and respect
Even
and trust.
what happens after love?
Yeah.
Happiness only.
Yeah.
no?
So it's
You're
the
happy.
same. Again, that
Don't they
complete
say
feeling.
You look so happy. Are you in love?
Yeah. Now, the only question is, we want that happiness. But if two people come together and both want, then what will be the result? If I tell you I want happiness and you're going to say, but I want happiness, there's going to be conflict. Look at a husband and a wife relationship. Why are there so many issues today? Both coming home after a long day at work and both expecting the other one to give. I've come back from a long day of work. I want you to understand me. I want you to be patient with me. I want you to talk softly and sweetly to me. I want you to respect me even though I'm losing my temper, even though I'm getting irritated. I want you to empathize with me. I want you to do all these things for me. And there the wife on the other side is going
Exactly
to
the
say,
same.
I want exactly the same. So if I want, how can another person want the same thing from me?
That's what I said. There'll be a fight.
And that's
Because
the reason.
Happiness is, say for example, happiness is one small object. Both of us want that, so we'll fight to grab it.
Even then,
So-
at least if it was an object somewhere else outside
One
and
of
both of
them
us fight,
wins.
at least one of them would get
One
it.
of them wins, yeah.
Yes.
Here
But
to
here
nobody's-
nobody will win.
Lose-lose situation.
Nobody will
yeah.
win. In fact, it becomes tougher because, let's say a husband and a wife both want from each other. One, they're not able to get it from each other. And second, they get angry with each other that the other person is not giving it. You know, they can actually say, why did I get married to you? That
Do you
becomes
know
a
your
question
duty?
mark. Yeah, that becomes a question mark. Why did I get into this relationship? And then the next answer to myself sometimes is, this relationship is not giving me what I wanted. So now I need to look for another relationship where I will get what I want. And so then you have an increase of divorce rate, and you have a high number of extramarital affairs only because this person could not give me what I want. So now I'm going to look for someone else who's going to give me what I want. It just goes on and on and on. And that is the reason why relationships become challenged today. The more we are going to be creating stress. We've talked about it in this program. Most of us today feel stress is natural. Anger is natural. To get hurt is natural.
To fight is natural.
To get upset is natural.
To expect is natural.
To low feel is natural.
To want from each other is natural.
So when all this is natural, then conflict is natural. And then when there was conflict, we said this is natural. Divorce 20 years back was still a stigma, which people would think 10 times. Today, very easy. Why? Because when all this is natural.
But how did this come up? I don't know. All these things, we call it natural. The pain, the fight, the anger, the divorce, and expectations, and all these are against what we want, against happiness.
Again, when each one of us stop taking care of ourselves, pressures, challenges have increased. If we just have to see last 10 years, 20 years, pressures, challenges have increased big time. Stress is given by a simple formula: pressure divided by resilience, my inner strength. Pressures have increased. Even if you look at a little child, his pressures have increased. To get admission into a preschool today is a challenge. The day I went to school, I didn't even have to go for admission. Today, a child has to go through an interview, pre-nursery, to get admission. So pressures have increased.
That is why people call stress is natural, because pressures outside have increased.
So
this is
pressures have
natural.
increased. Fine. Pressures have increased, and the fact is that pressures will only go on increasing. Whether it is for a child, today, earlier the mother of the house was not working, so pressures have increased. Earlier there were joint families, today there are nuclear families, pressures have increased. Earlier commuting from a place to place was easy, today we are stuck for hours in the traffic jam, pressures have definitely
No,
increased.
sister, earlier the other things were difficult. I used to wait for a telephone, a connection of a telephone for years.
And yet you were happier that time.
Yeah, but to talk to America, it would take 3 days sometimes. Aap Qatar mein, you're in line,
Yes,
you're in queue.
So when we need to ask
Communication
ourselves.
was very bad about 30 years back.
Yes, but what was better? The denominator.
Relationship was much better.
The denominator.
The denominator.
The inner strength.
Resilience.
Resilience. Our inner strength to cope with pressures was much higher. Now we got so entangled in our pressures, that we said we don't have time to take care of ourselves. Like today there are people who will say they don't have time to take care of the body also. I don't have time to eat, I don't have time to sleep, I don't have time to exercise. So it's a priority that I am choosing that I would rather achieve rather than take care of my body. And if I have to prioritize between my work and taking care of my body, I'm giving my work higher preference. So I'm going to ignore my body. Fine, I ignored my body, but won't I get the return of that? If not
Definitely.
today,
Old age.
few years, not probably old age, 30, 40?
Because that time you'll grow old.
Yes.
That
So
will be your old age.
Yeah, but we
if you
chose.
don't take care.
But we chose. We chose. Similarly, when it came to taking care of the mind, we said we started experiencing stress, we started experiencing these emotions, we said natural. And we said we don't have time. Today, we talk to so many people. Everyone says, yes, I'm experiencing stress. And you tell them, little 10 minutes in the morning, just sit with yourself, meditation. Don't have time to die, sister. That's the belief system they have about themselves. So again today, we are choosing that outside my work, my achievements are more important than taking care of myself.
Correct.
So then I'm choosing that stress, anger and the rest of these emotions are natural. And now I, the wife, am choosing this, that I'd rather live in stress rather than take out 10 minutes to take care of myself. And the husband here is also choosing that I am also going to live with my stress, and then they come home together in the evening asking each other for love, happiness and trust.
Sister, can we take a few minutes from our discussion and this talk for a small meditation, so that in the next episode we'll continue about what you're speaking.
Let's just sit back comfortably and let me look at myself and my field of relationships. The ones closest to me. And let me look at the quality and the experience after every interaction that I have with them. My spouse, my child, parent, friend, colleagues, neighbors, just let me see how I feel as I bring this list on the screen of my mind. Is there anything that I'm still wanting in these relationships? As I meet each one of them, let me try giving and sharing that what I want. Giving love. Let me look at each one of them and just focus on myself, giving to them. And as I give, how do I feel? Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Sister.
Om Shanti.